There is a saying that goes, you never truly know someone until you touch their money. Usually, we apply this logic to business partners or greedy landlords. But sometimes, the most shocking financial betrayals happen inside the walls of what should be a sanctuary, the family home. We like to think of parents as providers, protectors, and the ultimate safety net. But for a 20-year-old woman named Charlotte, her parents weren't a safety net. They were a financial anchor dragging her down. This is a story that has ignited a firestorm of debate across the internet, exposing a toxic family dynamic that many of us recognize but rarely talk about. It involves a hardworking daughter, a set of parents who treated her like a cash register, and an aunt who stepped in to stop the exploitation. To understand the gravity of this situation, we have to look at the numbers, because the math simply does not add up. Charlotte is 20 years old. She is young, ambitious, and trying to find her footing in an increasingly expensive world. For a while, she was living at home with her parents and 3 siblings. She wasn't living there for free, and she wasn't asking for handouts. She was paying her parents $500 a month in rent. Now, $500 for a single room in a shared family house is already a significant contribution. In many families, that money would be considered room and board to help cover groceries and utilities. Charlotte paid it without complaint, proving she was responsible and willing to pull her weight. But recently, the dynamic in the house shifted. Her parents sat her down and demanded more. They didn't just ask for a small cost of living adjustment. They demanded a 60% increase. They wanted to raise her rent from $500 to $800 a month. Let's pause and think about what $800 represents. In many towns across America, that is the cost of a mortgage payment on a small home, or certainly the cost of renting a room in a shared apartment where you have freedom, privacy, and no curfew. Asking a 20-year-old to pay near market rates to live in her childhood bedroom is already questionable. But here is the detail that turns this story from strict parenting into financial abuse. Charlotte is not an only child. She lives with 3 other adult or near-adult siblings, a 23-year-old, a 22-year-old, and an 8. You would assume that if the parents were struggling financially, or if they had a strict policy about adult children paying rent, this rule would apply to everyone. You would be wrong. According to the information revealed by the aunt, Charlotte's siblings pay absolutely nothing. 0. The 23-year-old pays nothing. The 22-year-old pays nothing. The 18-year-old pays nothing. Charlotte was the only one being charged, and now she was being squeezed for an extra $300 a month. When Charlotte rightfully questioned this disparity, pointing out the obvious unfairness, the conversation didn't go well. She asked why the burden was falling entirely on her shoulders. Instead of offering a logical explanation or a fair compromise, her mother exploded. The argument escalated until her mother played the ultimate trump card that toxic parents use when they are losing control. She told Charlotte to get out. It was an eviction notice served at the dinner table. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's a phrase designed to induce panic. Most 20-year-olds don't have the savings for a deposit, first month's rent, and moving costs on a moment's notice. The parents likely expected her to crumble, apologize, and open her wallet. But they underestimated their daughter, and they definitely underestimated her aunt. This is where the hero of our story enters the picture. Charlotte, distraught and officially kicked out, called her aunt her father's sister. Now, in situations like this, it is easy to jump to conclusions, so the aunt decided to do her due diligence. She is a fair woman, and she wanted to hear her brother's side of the story before making a move. She picked up the phone and called Charlotte's father. What he said next revealed the entire game they were playing. The moment the aunt mentioned that Charlotte was looking for a place to stay because she had been kicked out, the brother immediately backpedaled. He insisted that his wife didn't mean it when she told Charlotte to leave. This is a classic manipulation tactic known as Schrodinger's eviction. It's real if you stay and pay, but it's a joke or misunderstanding if you actually pack your bags. He wanted her to stay, but not because he missed her. He wanted her to stay because he wanted the money. When the aunt pressed him on the rent increase, asking why they were demanding $800 from only one child, the brother offered a shaky excuse. He claimed that their car insurance premiums had skyrocketed because Charlotte had been involved in a minor accident. On the surface, this sounds like a valid financial reason. Accidents increase premiums. That is a fact of life. But the aunt, knowing her family history, spotted the lie immediately. She pointed out that the other siblings, the ones living rent-free, had also been involved in accidents. In fact, their accidents were just as significant, yet there was never a discussion about charging them for the insurance hikes. The insurance excuse was just a cover story for greed. They saw Charlotte as the responsible one, the one with the steady job, and therefore, the one they could exploit to subsidize the entire household. The aunt realized that sending Charlotte back to that house would be sending her back into a trap. She saw a young woman being punished for her competence. So, she made a decision that would change the trajectory of Charlotte's life. She told her niece to pack her things. She was coming to live with her and her cousins. This wasn't just an offer of a couch for a few nights. It was an intervention. The aunt helped Charlotte physically move her belongings, getting her out of that toxic environment and into a home where she was actually wanted. But the aunt didn't just provide a roof. She provided a roadmap for adulthood. She understood that Charlotte needed to learn financial responsibility, but she needed to learn it in a way that built her up rather than tearing her down. The aunt sat Charlotte down and proposed a new arrangement. Yes, Charlotte would still contribute financially. It is important for young adults to learn the value of a dollar, but the terms were radically different. Instead of the crushing $800 her parents demanded, the aunt asked for $250 a month. And here is the beautiful twist that proves the aunt's intentions were pure. She isn't using that $250 to buy groceries or pay her own electric bill. She is taking every penny of Charlotte's rent and depositing it into a savings and investment account for her. She is secretly building a nest egg for her niece. While Charlotte thinks she is paying rent, she is actually paying her future self. This is what mentorship looks like. It is about teaching the habit of paying bills without the predatory nature of exploiting a family member. Under the aunt's guidance, Charlotte's life has completely transformed. The aunt helped her open a bank account in her own name, severing the financial cords that allowed her parents to monitor or control her money. She loaned Charlotte money to purchase a reliable car so she wouldn't be dependent on her parents for transportation. With a stable home environment and a car, Charlotte was able to enroll in community college. She is now studying early childhood education, a field she is passionate about. She is working, teaching a weekly mommy and me class, babysitting, and diligently paying back the car loan to her aunt. She is learning how to budget, how to save, and how to balance work and school. She is thriving. However, not everyone is happy about this success story. In fact, Charlotte's parents are reportedly furious. But we have to ask ourselves, why are they mad? Are they mad because they are worried about their daughter's safety? No, she is with family. Are they mad because they miss her presence at the dinner table? Unlikely, given they told her to get out. The aunt revealed the true source of their anger. They are furious that the aunt helped her move out over rent. They are accusing the aunt of overstepping and undermining their parental authority. They even tried to argue that the aunt is being hypocritical because she is essentially charging Charlotte too. This reaction from the parents is a textbook example of what happens when a control freak loses their grip. They aren't angry that Charlotte is paying rent. They are angry that she is paying it to someone else. They are angry that the $800 they were counting on to subsidize their own lives has vanished. They are likely feeling the financial pinch of supporting 3 other non-contributing adult children without Charlotte's income to buffer the costs. They played a game of chicken with their daughter's housing security, banking on the fact that she would be too scared to leave. They bet on her fear, but they forgot to account for her aunt's love. The accusation of hypocrisy is particularly laughable. They claim the aunt is doing the same thing by charging rent, conveniently ignoring the fact that the aunt is investing the money for Charlotte while they were spending it on themselves. The aunt is teaching Charlotte how to build wealth. The parents were teaching her how to sustain their lifestyle. It is a fundamental difference in values. One is empowerment, the other is exploitation. The internet community has rallied behind the aunt in a massive way. Thousands of commenters have weighed in, and the verdict is nearly unanimous. People are calling the aunt a godsend and pointing out the obvious Cinderella dynamic at play. It is a common, albeit tragic, family structure where one child is scapegoated often, the most responsible one while the others are coddled. This is sometimes called glass child syndrome or simply the cash cow dynamic. The parents likely viewed Charlotte not as a daughter to be nurtured but as a resource to be harvested. Speculation is running wild about why the other siblings pay nothing. Some online theories suggest that perhaps Charlotte is a stepchild, or that the parents simply have a golden child complex with the others. Regardless of the reason, the impact is the same. By treating her unfairly, they pushed her away. And now that she is gone, they are realizing that she was the glue holding their finances together. It is a classic case of you don't know what you've got until it's gone. There is also a deeper lesson here about the bluff that parents sometimes use. Telling a child to get out is a nuclear option. You should never say it unless you mean it, and you should never mean it unless there is a severe safety issue. Using homelessness as a bargaining chip to extract more rent money is emotional blackmail. When the brother admitted that his wife didn't mean it, he admitted that they were terrorizing their daughter for leverage. It completely destroys the trust in the relationship. How can Charlotte ever feel safe in that house again, knowing that her shelter is conditional on her willingness to be fleeced? The aunt's approach highlights a better way to parent adult children. She recognized that Charlotte needed independence, but she also needed a safety net. By charging a small amount of rent, she validates Charlotte's status as an adult. By investing it, she protects Charlotte's future. By helping with the car in college, she provides the tools for long-term success. She isn't giving Charlotte a fish. She is teaching her how to fish, how to buy the boat, and how to run the fishery. The fallout from this situation is likely to be permanent. The parents are currently stewing in their anger, blaming the aunt for stealing their daughter. They are painting themselves as the victims of a meddling sister-in-law, but the reality is, they pushed Charlotte out the door. The aunt just happened to be there to catch her. Charlotte remains in contact with her siblings, which is a sign of her maturity, but the relationship with her parents is rightfully strained. For the viewers watching this, there is a powerful takeaway. If you are a parent, look at how you treat your children financially. Is it fair? Is it consistent? Or are you punishing the one who succeeds? And if you are the Charlotte in your family, know that you are not crazy for demanding fairness. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep your family warm. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from a situation where you are valued only for what you can provide. It is also a reminder of the power of extended family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, sometimes you are the lifeline. You are the ones with enough distance to see the dysfunction and enough proximity to offer a way out. This aunt didn't just save Charlotte money, she saved her sense of self-worth. She showed Charlotte that she is worth investing in, not just taking from. As Charlotte continues her studies in early childhood education, she is learning how to nurture others. Thanks to her aunt, she has a model of what healthy, supportive, nurturing looks like. She knows that love isn't about control or debt. And one day, when she has that investment account handed back to her, she will have a nest egg that represents not just money, but the freedom that her aunt gifted her. Meanwhile, back at the parents' house, the bills are likely piling up. The car insurance premiums are still due, the groceries still need to be bought. But the Bank of Charlotte is closed. They are left with their anger, their rent-free adult children, and the consequences of their own greed. It is a harsh lesson in economics and emotion. Greed costs you more than you think. In their attempt to grab an extra $300, they lost a daughter, they lost a relationship, and they lost the respect of their family. Money comes and goes, but family is supposed to be forever. However, family is a title you earn through love and respect, not just biology. The aunt earned that title. The parents surrendered it for $800. In the end, Charlotte is the one who came out on top, proving that sometimes, getting kicked out is the best thing that can ever happen to you. It forces you to find the people who truly have your back. And in this case, the aunt didn't just have her back. She helped her build a spine. The story isn't over for Charlotte. In fact, it's just beginning. She is 20, she has a plan, she has support, and she has escaped a situation that was designed to keep her small. As for the rumors about what the parents will do next, well, speculation suggests they might try to start charging the other siblings rent now that the primary income source is gone. And if that happens, we might be seeing a few more cousins knocking on the aunt's door very soon. Because once the unfairness is exposed, the system usually collapses. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what happens when you try to scam your own kids.